What did she say? Thank you for delivering my message. She won't forgive me, just as I won't forgive her. But chasing after revenge is pointless. What a damn shame. Such a young lass. Amen. How could such a thing happen? I'm here, my boy. I wish she'd suffer the same pain. Almighty Father, I put my hope in you. Why, I beg you, take his little soul to your bosom. If not in life, let him have peace in death. Let the priests say what they like. God has surely granted you mercy. Why shouldn't I? I haven't told you the half of it yet. And you know what Bozhena did? But when Yaroslav was coming into the world, you know, I knew already I'd finally have a son. I curse that old hag often enough. When I've had a drink or two, I wish the worst on her, so she'd know how I feel. But as God is my witness, I'd never stoop to murder on account of it. It wasn't till daybreak that Bozhena came out of the house, carrying in her arms God's will. There are times I wish I'd died before Yaroslav. He was all... I couldn't get a wink of sleep all night. You, a noble? That's a hard one to swallow. What? Don't tell me your mother was a loose woman. It's a wonder she didn't poison her, the crone. A good thing, too. She hasn't shown up here since. Many times I told myself we should have done more to her, so she'd know how I felt. Well, I won't press you. You're the one who came asking questions. I suppose you're right. I understand why you might think that. But I would never do anything like that. They could see right off it was a boy. Like I said, she started brewing right away, and before the night was out, she was pouring God knows what kind of concoction down Ludmilla's throat. I'm a decent Christian, unlike you, as he ought to be. The poor, innocent soul. Or standing right here next to me. How was it, then, with the two fathers? Of course I wasn't there. Being a God-abiding man, I was outside. But Marushka comes running out, shouting, "Fuck you! If you go around starting on folk like that, don't be surprised if no one wants to talk to you." One of my daughters got married and moved out. Marushka and Olena are still here. Once they get married, I'll be left all alone on the farm. Only Yaroslav came out feet first. And as they were pulling him out, well, only this time, something went wrong. Only that's not all. That same evening, I got the other fellas from the village, and we drove that damned witch out beyond the boundary stone. Aye, me too. If it hadn't been for that treacherous old hag, he wouldn't be here under a tree. He'd be in the churchyard. Aye, true enough. Only a father should pass his livelihood on to his son, goddammit! Don't tell me it's different where you come from. If she hadn't pulled him out and left Ludmilla to manage herself, he could have lived. She was only little when it happened, like when it looks bad for the child, see? She can baptize him, make sure he gets to heaven. Well, you do look like a man with blue blood. That I can't deny. And my wife died a few hours later. My wife, Ludmilla, gave birth to 3 daughters. Quick and easy every time. My son, Yaroslav. It was that Bozhena's doing, I tell you. That was no mishap. The witch killed my son and damned him to hell. Well, Yaroslav would have been 5 years old now. I never sent for no help. Why would I? After all, Ludmilla done it all on her own 3 times. And besides, that Bozhena is an unclean woman and a witch. Don't tell nobody, but since Ludmilla died, I go weak at the knees if I only see blood. It's like I'm standing next to her bed, again like that time. Help! By killing my son and condemning him to damnation. The midwife, Bozhena. I asked the priest, and he told me every midwife has the sacred right to perform baptism when things go wrong. Ask away. Aye, but words won't bring them back. Mother of God, I can't even say it. In the first place, I don't know nothing. And secondly, that girl's not to blame for anything. She was only a young lass when it happened. She's already paid plenty for her mother's sins. If you want to go to the bailiff with me, I'll have a word or two to say about false accusations. So I'm sure you understand what I did after. So don't you tell me Bozhena was trying to help. Pa! Send for Bozhena! Ma's poorly! It's what any man would have done. That's all well and good. But believe me, that witch will never wash clean her sins. He died during birth and was never christened, so he couldn't be buried in the cemetery. I'd have saved myself all the misery since then. And all that's still to come. Easy, lad. You don't have to lose your temper. I don't want to fight with you. I never want to see a corpse again in my life. Besides, if I wanted to get my own back on Bozhena, I'd never take it out on her daughter. The girl's not to blame for anything. I thought twice about it, but then I sent for her. She came along with a little girl, Pavlena, and a whole sack of herbs. Really? What kind of man would take in another's child? Not a thing. She looked at that little body lying still and didn't do a damned thing. Out of duty for my son, Yaroslav. Are you mad? The village women often scream all day and night before they bring their babies into the world. Not my Ludmilla. When she had Marushka, it was all over before the midwife even got here. What other people make of it is theirs. So stop fucking bothering me with talk about making amends. And I told you I didn't have anything to do with it. And I don't see why I should have to make up with Bozhena on account of it. And she's the one who suffered most from that banishment. She can't have been more than 10 years old. And those two fools of hands, they won't show up here again. And if they do, I'll haul them off to the bailiff myself. Christ almighty. You're talking like the parish priest. But my offer still stands. Bozhena could return to Troskovitz in peace. Bozhena didn't make any amends to my Yarush. Bozhena and Pavlena could return to the village. What? Jesus Christ! What? No. Wait, what? What are you blabbering about? What are you talking about? Are you out of your mind? What? Pavlena is dead? What? What the hell are you talking about? What? I never did anything to Pavlena. I give my word that I won't do anything bad to them. Straw is here on the farm somewhere, so ask him about it. But be careful. We could drag you before the bailiff if you make any false accusations. Thank you. It's time for us all to get on with our lives. By all the saints. Fuck! You're right. A murder? What murder? I hope Bozhena will understand that. Oh. Good. Where are you going with this? That witch deserves no pity. Are you serious? You think you can frighten me? I go to hell. They did it of their own free will, not on my orders. I didn't put anyone up to it. They did it on their own, and it's their own bloody fault. I'm willing to make amends with Bozhena. If Otter shows up, I'll have him arrested, I promise you. When I get drunk, I curse her, aye, but I never wanted anyone to kidnap her daughter or murder anyone. Jesus Christ! Why would they do something like that? Jesus Christ! That's the last thing we need, a mess like this. I have to square things up with Thrush. Sweet Jesus! But why would Straw, of all people, do something like that? He didn't even know Roman that well. Shit! You're right. It's time to put an end to it. And don't worry, I understand it won't be so straightforward. No, it's not on! I won't have you preach to me. No! Help! I can't forgive Božena for what she did to my son. But there's some truth in what you say. You know nothing. I can't simply forgive her. I'll never forgive her for not baptizing my son. But Pavlena shouldn't have to pay for her sins. But I had nothing to do with that. Good Lord! And what did you do to him? My God! I never wanted anything like that. I'll send Božena compensation. I never wanted anything to happen to her daughter. Listen, I did nothing of the sort. I might have cursed Božena in the tavern, but I never goaded anyone into anything. I swear to God, for the love of God, it was in the tavern. It was the booze talking. For Christ's sake, help! Someone help! I certainly didn't give them any orders. And if they did something, it was of their own free will. I swear by all that's sacred. Yeah, you'd be wasting your time. Don't bother me again. But that's not my fault. So what you told me was true? Good Lord. What I say and do is my business. I'm more afraid of that old crone than of you, you shit. We can come to an agreement, all right?